Hey there, I'm Tony, and this is my vlog T-T, the countdown to change can't to can. This first episode is going to be a little bit of a mashup between my story and my plan. My story in a nutshell is that I grew up very active and athletic. I played a lot of sports. I played baseball, football, track, boxing. I even played basketball until I figured out I wasn't going to grow any taller than 5'6", and that became problematic, so that career ended shortly. But I did remain active after that, all the way through college. After college, I started to take computer jobs, and what that did was it made me very sedentary. You end up staring at a screen and just moving your finger here and there, scrolling through and clicking. And I started to become less and less active. I still continued to eat the same way that I had been eating, and as I was getting older, my metabolism was slowing down. So, that's a combination for disaster, and that's where I kind of find myself today. So now I look like this, but I want to go back to how I used to look. Not like that, like this. But beyond wanting to look a certain way, I'm type 2 diabetic and I have high blood pressure, and I want to just get healthy, and now is the time to do something. Now, I don't know how you are, but for me, inspiration is slow to hit me, and I spent a lot of time reading things and looking at things, but not doing enough stuff. And then I came across David Goggins' story, and if you're not familiar with him, I'll put some links below. But between watching his interviews and reading his book, Can't Hurt Me, I realized that this is a mental game more than it is a physical game. And if I can overcome that, the physical side will come. So earlier this year, I went and met with my doctor, and I said, hey, I don't want to be diabetic anymore. I want to try to reverse this. I want to get off of blood pressure medications. And she's a very cool doctor. She sat with me. She talked to me about some paths that I could take for that. And she's concerned enough that she said, hey, you can go do this route, but I need you to get some blood work done, and I need you to check in with me. And so that's where I started, with the doctor. And from there, I went and sought out a personal trainer, and I wanted to make sure that I had a personal trainer that understood the style that I needed and somebody that I got along with. And I have a really great personal trainer. Her name's Allie, and we sat down and we had an entire conversation about all of the things. What are my limitations? What are my goals? And then she took me through a baseline with a machine called InBody. And it is super detailed. I mean, it tells you things you don't want to know, but you really do need to know. And from there, it was a matter of kind of managing those plans between the doctor, the personal trainer, and then also my own internal personal goals. So here at episode 1, I know what the plan is, and I need to lose 70 pounds. And that is a tough ask, nothing you can do overnight. And probably that's the hardest part, is mentally knowing that I've got to give this time, and I've got to be able to fail a little bit along the way, but I got to stay on track. So a few things with that plan: definitely exercise. I mean, you got to get moving. And then the diet. I've been told that you can't out-exercise the diet. And if you think about that, try to run off your meal on a treadmill. It's almost nearly impossible to do, let alone whatever it is that you take in all day. So especially being diabetic, I got to watch what I eat. And I haven't been great about that in the past, but part of my plan is to build my plate properly and count my calories and make sure that I'm getting calories from the best sources as possible. But also making sure that I'm not taking so much out of my diet that I'm going to end up craving it and failing later. So being realistic with how I'm stair-stepping into this plan. My trainer Allie gave me some really great homework. She wanted me to make sure I'm doing some hiking on my off days, staying active. She wanted me to try a new vegetable. She gave me a water goal, which was easy to hit. I drink about 128 ounces of water a day. She wanted me to try yoga and do a couple different things like that. So it really started me looking at all the different parts of the lifestyle, not just when you're training inside the gym. So for my own personal diet, there's a few things that I definitely needed to cut out. I needed to cut out chips and salsa, pizza, soda, ice cream, and definitely sugary candy. I love sugary candy, and once I start eating that, everything else is downhill from there. So sugary candy is off limits. Finally, this is a long journey, and I'm realizing that, and I'm happy that some people will follow along with me and hold me accountable. I've spent a lot of time hiding out and feeling bad about myself with weight gain. For me, comes a lot of depression and, just wishing that I could do some of the things that I had been able to do in the past, and you end up kind of getting to a place where you're paralyzed by your own fear and you don't realize exactly what you can actually do. That's one thing I've learned with personal training so far, is that you have like a perceived level of exertion, and what you think will kill you probably won't. And again, it goes back to that mental game too. So, I know I need to work through a lot of things, and I need to keep moving and keep the goals in mind. And I have some bigger goals. Eventually, I would like to complete a month-long push-up challenge. I'd like to run a 5K, no matter how slow, just not stop running. And I want to try to become more of a morning person. But anyone that knows me knows that the latter is probably the most impossible on that list. So in order for me to be successful, I need to be consistent. And I need to be consistent not only in diet and exercise, but I need to be consistent in uploading to this channel. Believe it or not, this public-facing accountability plan that I have in place with this vlog drives me, and it drives me mostly out of fear, because I'm not used to being in front of the camera, let alone telling everybody how I feel or how much I weigh and all of that kind of stuff. So if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button below. If you want notifications for when new episodes come out, you can click the bell below, and I'm going to be uploading every Monday. I appreciate everyone that is coming along the journey with me. Anyone that's showing me encouragement, you can drop me some comments if you feel like it, and I will see you next week.